So you know Spanish verbs, but do you really know how to use them? In this video, I'm going to teach you 11 verb phrases that native speakers use. I'm going to show you some tips so you can really use them well, and I'm going to give you the reasons why you need to use them. In this first part of the video, I'm going to teach you 8 verb phrases that work with infinitives. Stick around because I'm going to teach you other 3 that work with different elements. Let's start with the first one. The first one is dejar de plus an infinitive. Dejar alone means to leave. As in, dejo mis llaves en la mesa. I leave my keys on the table. But when you combine it with de plus the infinitive, this is going to help you express that an action or an habit just stopped. For example, Carla dejó de fumar. Carla stopped smoking. Dejé de ver la peli porque no me gustó. I stopped watching the movie because I didn't like it. Sorry, it was too much violence for me. O deja de morderte las uñas. Stop biting your nails. That's my brother, by the way. So you want to incorporate dejar de every time that you want to mention that a person stopped doing something. The next one is acabar de plus an infinitive. Acabar de plus an infinitive means that an action just finished. For example, acabo de hablar con Sandra. I just spoke to Sandra. O acabamos de ir a la tienda. We just went to the store. I'm sorry, you missed it. So, why do you want to use acabar de? Is there another way to say this in Spanish? Actually, there is, but you're going to see why you want to use acabar de. Let's take the example number 1. Acabo de hablar con Sandra. How would I say this in Spanish using another word? Okay, I could say, hablé con Sandra hace unos minutos. I'm sorry, are you done? That was very long. Number 1, it's very long. Number 2, it assumes that you actually know how to use hace properly and not making mistakes when you apply it. Acabar de is more natural and simple. So make sure you start adding it to your conversations. The next one is tener que. And tener que is very straightforward. You're going to use it to express obligations. For example, tengo que hablar contigo. I have to talk to you. Ugh, that sounds concerning. Or, tuvimos que ir a la fiesta. We had to go to the party. The sacrifices we make for our friends, right? So what's the difference between saying tener que and deber de? Deber de is actually a little bit more formal, and we use it when the obligation is related to social rules or standards. For example, debemos de acabar la violencia. We must end violence. The next one is ir a plus an infinitive. When you use it in the present tense, ir a helps you talk about future plans or action, as in, ¿cuándo vas a arreglar la tele? When are you going to fix the TV? I have to watch it. But if you use it in the imperfect, you're going to express past intentions. For example, ay, iba a ir, pero me quedé dormida. I was going to go, but I fell asleep. This expressing intentions is great for giving excuses. For example, ay, te iba a guardar un pedazo, pero bueno, no pude. I was going to save you a piece, but I couldn't. So let's go to check the next one. And this one is very popular on daily conversations. Ponerse a plus the infinitive. You know ponerse. You probably know that we use ponerse to talk about daily routines. Me pongo la camisa, me pongo los zapatos, me pongo el pantalón, right? But when we use it with a and the infinitive, ponerse expresses the start of an action, but it also emphasizes that the subject took the initiative to do that action. For example, ponte a estudiar. Get to study. Or, ayer nos pusimos a limpiar la casa. Yesterday, we began to clean the house. Be careful because many of these verb phrases are not going to have a exact translation into English. And I also want to give you this tip. Ponlos a. You can also change the reflexive pronoun. Yo me pongo, tú te pones. Nosotros nos ponemos for direct object pronouns, los or las, to express that you are going to put someone to start doing something. For example, ¿dónde están los niños? Where are the kids? Ponlos a limpiar su cuarto. Get them to clean their bedroom, right? So make sure you add these two, ponerse en ponerlos, to your vocabulary. The next one is estar a punto de. And estar a punto de plus its infinitive expresses that an action is about to start. For example, estuve a punto de quemar la comida. I was about to burn the food. Nothing happened, don't worry. When you use it in the past, it expresses that something was very close to happen, but nothing happened. As in my example, estuve a punto de quemar la comida. Everything is fine, don't worry. O la bebé está a punto de caerse. The baby is about to fall. Hold it, please, save her. The next one is empezar a. Empezar a helps you to express the start of an action. For example, Tim empezó a estudiar español en enero. Tim started to study Spanish on January. Or, and check what I'm going to do here. ¿Cuándo vas a empezar a ver Game of Thrones? When are you going to start watching Game of Thrones? Check what I did. I use ir a, the future, the implication of the future plan. ¿Cuándo vas a? And empezar a to express the start of an action. ¿Cuándo vas a empezar a ver Game of Thrones? You need to watch it. But check that I'm still using the preposition every time. ¿Cuándo vas a? That's ir a. Empezar a. ¿Cuándo vas a empezar a ver Juego de Tronos? So what's the difference between empezar a and comenzar a? They are synonyms, but in some countries, comenzar a, it's a little bit more formal. For example, in Mexico, we have a preference for empezar a. Meaning-wise, it's the same. Ojo, because I have seen this mistake a lot. What's the difference between saying empecé vendiendo libros versus empecé a vender libros? We can say empecé vendiendo, but in Spanish, we use this expression when we're telling a story and we're creating background information. For example, empecé vendiendo libros, pero ahora tengo mi propia tienda. I started selling books, but now I have my own store. There is a big difference if I say empecé a vender libros. I just start selling books, right? Be careful because we do use the gerund, but in very specific situations. And finally, the last verb phrase that you're going to use with infinitives is volver a. Volver a expresses repetition. It's very simple. It simply means that you're going to do something again and again. For example, nunca más lo volvió a ver. She never saw him again. That's so sad. Or, check what I did again. Voy a volver a empezar a ver Game of Thrones. I'm going to start watching Game of Thrones again. I mean, why wouldn't I? So, why do you need to use volver a if you have otra vez? You could use otra vez, right? Yes, you could. But there is a special emphasis if we say volver a. I could totally say something like, voy a empezar a ver Juego de Tronos otra vez, but it's more emphatic if I say, voy a volver a empezar a ver Juego de Tronos. Meaning-wise, otra vez and volver a mean the same. It's the same. Repetition. However, volver a is stronger. So if you want to be more emphatic on your conversations, you need to use volver a. So we got to the final part of the video. These three verb phrases are going to work with gerunds, not infinitive, gerunds. Gerunds are words that in the regular form end with ando and yendo. ing in English, walking, running, those are gerunds. So let's go check the first one. The first verb expression you need to learn is llevar. Llevar plus a gerund is going to help you measure the duration of an action. In simple words, for how long you have been doing something. For example, llevo 2 horas esperándote. I have been waiting for you for 2 hours. Or llevamos 6 meses viviendo aquí. We have been living here for 6 months. That looks very similar to the present perfect, right? You're right. You can actually say something like hemos vivido aquí durante 6 meses. We have lived here for 6 months. So wait a minute. If I already have a tense that is exactly like English, why would I bother to learn llevar? That's a great question, and let me tell you why you want to do it. So if you use hemos vivido aquí durante 6 meses, it feels a little bit long. As a native, that feels long. Number 2, you need to use a preposition to express that duration. And number 3, and most importantly, haber is a highly irregular verb. So you have to deal with 2 very problematic things: prepositions and an irregular verb. So because Jbar is all friendly and he just wants to be liked, he's going to tell you, you know what, I'm going to wave the prepositions off. You don't have to worry about prepositions with me. So, native speakers, we like simplicity. We don't like to be thinking, do I need to say hemos estado viviendo durante, por, desde hace? That's too much time, too much brain power. Let's make it simple. Llevamos viviendo 6 meses aquí. You don't have to worry about prepositions. You don't have to worry about whether you chose the right form or not. Llevar is a regular verb. Because of this simplicity, people in daily conversations, we prefer to use llevar plus gerund instead of this. Did you notice that I switched the order of the words? It's not because I'm not able to read. I can read. But when we use llevar, we don't have to be so strict about the order of words. I can say, llevo 6 meses viviendo aquí, or I can say, llevo viviendo 6 meses aquí. Llevo viviendo aquí 6 meses. As long as I use my verb conjugated and my gerund, everything is okay. I'm going to do a video explaining this later, but for now, this is all you need to know. So the next verb phrase that you want to learn is seguir plus a gerund, and seguir plus a gerund is going to help you express that an action is still going on. For example, ¿sigues siendo amiga de Luz? Are you still friends with Luz? Or, ¿por qué no siguieron viendo la película? Why didn't you guys keep watching the movie? So, are you saying that seguir plus a gerund is synonyms with continuar? You're right. Seguir plus a gerund conveys that sense of continuity. However, continuar is a little bit formal. If I went and say, oye, ¿continúas siendo amiga de Luz? Yeah, Shakespeare, we're still friends. It's too formal, so be careful. Seguir is also synonyms with todavía. I can say, Luz y yo todavía somos amigas. However, todavía cannot work in this case with the preterite because it just doesn't go with that tense, okay? So you have to be careful. So what's the difference between seguir plus gerund and llevar plus gerund? Like, it seems that they're talking about like ongoing continuous action. They are. However, seguir focuses on an action that is still going on, while llevar focuses on the duration of an action. The next phrase you want to learn, and that I haven't seen many students using it, is andar. Andar plus a gerund. This combination allows you to express that an action is happening at the moment of speaking. In grammar terms, that's the present progressive. For example, ¿qué andas haciendo? What are you doing? Andamos comprando comida. We're just buying food. Oh, so this is synonyms with estar. It is. Andar is a very informal and casual word that we use instead of estar. You can use it for the present progressive as in ¿qué andas haciendo? But you can also use it with adjectives. Ay, estoy cansada. You can also say ay, ando cansada. It's a synonym with estar, and we native speakers love to use it in our daily conversations. So as you can tell, some of these verb phrases work with infinitives and some of them work with gerunds. And there is a difference between those structures. As we were mentioning before, the structures that work with gerund convey or talk about ongoing actions. However, the expressions that we're going to use with infinitives, dejar de, tener que, deber de, those expressions refer to actions that either are going to start or started at a specific point or are going to finish or finished at a specific moment of time. Very big difference. So now that you know these expressions, I want to share with you a little paragraph so you can see how to apply these phrases in real life situations. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself in Spanish, obviously, because I need to practice these phrases. Empecé a enseñar español hace 7 años. Oh, that's a lot of time. Dejé de trabajar en una escuela y mi prometido y yo nos pusimos a hacer un blog. Llevo como 6 meses grabando en YouTube. Acabo de ver The Office, sí, otra vez, y estoy por terminar Downton Abbey. As you can see, these verb phrases are great to talk about you and your daily activities. The challenge for this lesson is very simple. You are going to write sentences using these expressions. You can write a paragraph about yourself or whatever you want to talk to me about. Leave it in the comments and I'm going to check it and give you feedback if you need it. You can check this same lesson on my Spanish Immersion channel in case you're ready to practice your listening. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, porque voy a seguir subiendo videos giving you more tips to improve your Spanish. I hope to see you soon, guys. Bye!